Welcome to our exploration of a hidden crime at the highest levels of power, kleptocracy. Embark with us on an intriguing journey as we unpack the complex world of white-collar crime, taking you through the shadowy alleys of power corridors. This grand endeavor is not just an investigation, but a revelation of a system that thrives on corruption, deceit, and manipulation, hidden beneath the veneer of authority. Understanding kleptocracy requires us to dissect the intricate modus operandi of those who rule not for the people but for their personal gains. In this exposé, we delve into the mechanics of kleptocracy, discovering how it functions, the cunning strategies deployed, and the intricate web of deceit woven. But beyond just the understanding, we also venture into the real-world implications of this malady, unearthing the profound and far-reaching impact it has on societies. Kleptocracy, a term merging klepto meaning theft and cracy denoting a form of government, refers to a ruling system where leaders exploit their power to steal vast wealth. Digging deeper, the term kleptocracy is derived from two Greek words, klepto, which translates to theft, and cracy, that denotes a form of government. It's a fascinating, albeit disheartening concept that depicts governance at its worst. It means a system of governance where the ruling class, often those holding high offices, make use of their authority and influence for personal enrichment. They are not just individuals, they are the apex of political power, exploiting the very systems they were chosen or appointed to protect and enhance. They divert public funds, rig the systems, and manipulate policies to fill their own personal coffers. This form of corruption is not committed by average criminals or petty thieves, but by individuals who hold immense sway and power. They are high-ranking officials who manipulate policies and systems for personal gain. The concept of kleptocracy is not new. Since antiquity, human civilizations have witnessed the rise and fall of various regimes, each with its own character and attributes. Among these, certain regimes have been singled out and accused of kleptocracy. This term refers to a form of corruption where the government or its leaders exploit national resources for personal gains. It's an intriguing yet disheartening facet of human governance. As we pace ahead in time, we encounter the modern-day kleptocrats. With the evolution of our financial and legal systems into globally networked entities, these kleptocrats have been able to abuse their power in ways we've never seen before. In contrast to their historical counterparts, they have taken this form of corruption to unprecedented levels. Kleptocrats often use complex financial systems to hide their illicit wealth. These corrupt individuals, typically high-ranking officials who exploit their power for personal gain, manipulate intricate financial networks with the sole objective of concealing their ill-gotten riches. Their methods are wide-ranging and often ingenious, reflecting their relentless determination to protect their dark fortunes from the law. One such method that kleptocrats frequently employ is the use of offshore accounts. These are bank accounts located outside one's home country, often in places known for their financial secrecy and low taxes. These offshore accounts provide an ideal hiding spot for their clandestine proceeds, far from the prying eyes of authorities. Another favorite method these corrupt officials use is the formation of shell companies. Essentially, these are businesses that exist only on paper, with no real products or services. They serve as a smokescreen, a facade behind which kleptocrats can stash their ill-gotten wealth, making it difficult for investigators to trace back to them. Lastly, they also heavily invest in real estate. Buying properties in different parts of the world not only disperses their wealth across various jurisdictions, but also legitimizes their illicit gains. The properties, often luxurious mansions or high-end apartments, are a visible symbol of their wealth, but hidden behind layers of transactions, they are hard to link back to their illicit activities. Offshore accounts, shell companies, and real estate investments are common methods for laundering and protecting their stolen assets. The effects of kleptocracy are global. This isn't merely about the theft of wealth accumulating in the hands of a few. Instead, it's a far-reaching issue that has cascading impacts on various aspects. At its core, kleptocracy significantly erodes the trust that citizens have in their respective governments. It precipitates a trust deficit, causing the populace to question the credibility and intentions of their chosen leaders. Additionally, kleptocracy inflicts severe damage to economies. It distorts economic policies and disrupts the equitable distribution of resources. The plundering of public wealth leads to economic instability and, in many cases, economic decline. It creates an environment that is unattractive for foreign investments, thus exacerbating the economic turmoil. More importantly, kleptocracy leads to gross violations of human rights. The misappropriation resources often involves the exploitation and subjugation of the vulnerable segments of society. It widens the gap between the haves and the have-nots, leading to societal unrest and conflict. The repercussions are felt most severely in developing countries. In these regions, kleptocratic practices act as a barrier to development, stifling growth and deepening poverty. The societal progress that these countries should be experiencing is stifled by the selfish actions of a few. Developing countries are often the hardest hit, where kleptocratic practices can stifle growth and deepen poverty. Exposing kleptocrats is a daunting task. This is a mission undertaken by the brave and determined. It's not simply a matter of finding information, but rather delicately excavating it, seeking to unearth the hidden secrets and carefully concealed crimes. Journalists, those fearless seekers of truth, and activists, the relentless pursuers of justice, tirelessly dig through layers of misinformation. They dance on a tightrope, often putting themselves in jeopardy to bring forth the truth. International watchdogs, these guardians of justice, alongside leaked documents such as the Panama Papers, play a significantly vital role. These sources have been the pillars supporting the exposure of corruption worldwide, turning over rocks and shining lights in dark corners. They have been instrumental in bringing such cases to light. International organizations such as the United Nations and the World Bank are fervently engaged in the war against kleptocracy. They are not just silent observers, but active participants in the battle against this systemic form of corruption. Their commitment is demonstrated through a multiplicity of ways. One significant way is by establishing global standards that discourage and penalize corrupt activities. They do this by leveraging their influence and authority to foster a culture of transparency and accountability. Additionally, they provide numerous resources which assist in carrying out investigations into allegations of kleptocratic practices. These resources range from expert advice to funding, all aimed at empowering authorities to conduct thorough investigations. Furthermore, these organizations play an intermediary role by encouraging and facilitating cross-border cooperation. Through their international networks, they ease the process of information sharing and joint action among nations. This makes it more difficult for corrupt officials to hide their illicit activities and escape prosecution. They work by setting standards, providing resources for investigations, and facilitating cross-border cooperation. Tackling kleptocracy through legal means is a complex ordeal. When we think about this issue, it is not just about the crime itself, but a vast and tangled web of interrelated components. One must consider the intricacies of international law. This encompasses a diverse and often contradictory set of rules that vary greatly from one country to the next. It also involves understanding of extradition treaties between nations, which too are not always straightforward. Apart from these efforts are often met with reluctant cooperation, sometimes even outright resistance from countries that act as safe havens for these illicit assets. Further, it is important to recognize the stakes involved. The countries harboring these assets are frequently the ones least equipped, least willing, or most corrupt, further complicating these attempts. And so, this task becomes a balancing act, a dance of diplomacy, enforcement, and at times subterfuge. Ultimately, overcoming the challenges involved in legally tackling kleptocracy requires perseverance, strategy, and a true commitment to justice. Raising public awareness is indeed crucial. It becomes our collective responsibility to understand and act upon kleptocracy, an issue that often goes unnoticed. The power of knowledge cannot be understated. A comprehensive understanding of kleptocracy, its causes, and its impacts can ignite the spark of change. When a majority of the public is informed and aware, there is a heightened demand for justice and equality. This demand puts significant pressure on governments and institutions, urging them to take stringent measures against kleptocracy. In today's digital age, various tools have been employed to spread awareness. Among these, social media has emerged as a powerful platform. With its wide reach and instant connectivity, it has proven to be an effective tool in disseminating information and fostering a sense of social responsibility. Additionally, documentaries have also played a significant role in enlightening the masses. With their detailed storytelling and captivating visuals, they have been able to delve deep into the issue, bringing the harsh realities of kleptocracy to the forefront. Social media and documentaries have been effective tools in this regard. Looking ahead, the fight against kleptocracy is a monumental task that will necessitate change on numerous fronts. The heart of this battle lies in the unwavering resolve to create transparency and fairness in politics and business. With the rise of the digital age, opportunities for innovation are ripe, ready to be seized and used to our advantage. This is where technology comes into play, offering a beacon of hope in an otherwise bleak landscape. Leveraging advanced technology opens the door to a myriad of possibilities, such as using blockchain for transparency and machine learning for irregularity detection in financial transactions. These tools, when used proactively, can aid in the tracing of stolen assets, shining a light into the shadowy corners of corruption. However, technology alone is not sufficient. It must be underpinned by strong global partnerships, born out of a shared commitment to justice and a desire to drive change. Together, nations can work to establish robust systems and practices that leave no room for theft and corruption. Such alliances are the key to recovering stolen assets, making them an integral part of the fight against kleptocracy. The journey may be long and fraught with challenges, but with innovation, technology, and global partnerships, we stand a strong chance of conquering kleptocracy. So as we look to the future, we must remember that the fight against kleptocracy will require innovative approaches, leveraging technology and global partnerships to trace and recover stolen assets. Kleptocracy is a sophisticated form of crime hidden in plain sight. It's a strategic and well-planned exploitation of power at the highest levels, often carried out by those entrusted with running a nation's affairs. It's a phenomenon that masters the art of deception, effectively cloaking itself under the guise of governance and public service. Yet beneath this facade, it manipulates systems, policies, and laws for personal gain. As global citizens, it's our responsibility to delve deep into the mechanisms of this global menace. We must understand its complex structure and the deceptive strategies it employs. Acknowledging the existence of kleptocracy is the first step towards its eradication. We should educate ourselves, keep abreast with current affairs, understand the nuances of global politics, and expose the truth wherever and whenever possible. Stay informed, stay vigilant.